And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
Sir, we back, y'all. Back like we never left. This is our 31st episode. This is episode, 7 of Food, Fitness, and Fun, season 2. I had a coffee, I'm high sprung, and I'm ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? How Drake said, I'm charged up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Tranquilo, papa.
Nah,
Tranquilo.
high energy today. High energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting the 30s with high energy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
When this is over, I'm back in the streets. It's warm outside. I'm going to run, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what time it is. It's like fucking 55 out here in the tri-state area. I'm going to give them a run like a reggae song. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
That's the shit I'm on. So, let me calm down for just a second. Talk about this sponsored by, because I don't want to be shouting about my salad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to DMX the salad. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to DMX. But
no doubt.
I gotta bring it down like he does when he does his prayers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I had some company recently. A couple weeks ago, I had my daughter with me. I had my best friend's son and daughter. His son is my youngest godson. The whole squad was here. I took the kids. I said, come on, man. Come spend some time with Uncle Jay. So they came through. We was kicking it. And I cooked, made everybody some grub. And I decided to tap into my inner Dre. At one point, y'all may not notice, but Dre was, yeah. Y'all may not notice, but at one point, Dre was eating these humongous, like, mixing bowl size salads.
Still do.
You know what I'm saying? Holler. So I channeled my inner Dre. Baby girl likes salad. My godson likes salad. His sister was anti. She said, nah, I don't want none of that. But I made a huge mixing bowl of salad. So this is it. It's going to be on the screen. And everybody, you know, the three of us had. So my daughter had some. My godson had some. And then I had, as they say, the lion's share. You know what I'm saying? So this is baby spinach. I buy this bag with like little peppers in it. It's like a mixed bag. So this is red and orange peppers or yellow peppers, whatever. You know, it's kind of like in that transition from red to yellow or yellow to red. And Spanish or white onions. I say white onions, but, you know, different strokes for different folks, whatever. And then usually I throw carrots in there, but I was out of carrots this time. But I did have some broccoli, so there was broccoli in there too, fresh broccoli. Which I don't know if you can see in the video, but I promise y'all it's in there. I also don't have a shot of the bowl from far. I kind of took like an above, you know, bird's eye view kind of shot, but y'all will see it in the video and the pic. I also like to throw carrots. You know, it gives like a nice little crunch, but I didn't have any carrots this time. I like to also not use salad dressing when I'm home because I eat a lot of junk on the road or, you know, I'm on the move a lot. So when I make stuff at home, I try to keep it pure or, you know, just try to decrease the amount of additives. So this is a raw salad, no dressing. I like to, you know, taste all of the flavors and the textures and just take it all in. So this is a quick salad I made for the squad and I ended up eating most of. And the base is usually baby spinach. Sometimes if I have other leafy greens, I'll throw them in there. But I always have baby salad because I do like the spinach, the smoothie bowls and the smoothies. So I always have some of that spinach on deck. So, yeah, that's my sponsored by segment. That's my salad. It'll be up on the screen. And yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Sounds
delicious. Gotta get
yeah, you know, I try to keep it. Yeah, I try to keep it simple. You know, get that green in, but try to incorporate some of the other colors of the rainbow too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So last week or last episode, whatever, we said we was gonna pick up where we left off when we were talking about cardio, talking about the elliptical, why it's our favorite machine, why we feel it's the best machine in the gym. So let me be more specific so there's no confusion. Why we feel it's the best cardio machine in the gym. So you introduced me to the elliptical, the way we do it, interval training style. Prior to that, I kind of just didn't know what it was and jumped on it when I first just started going to the gym. I remember you was like, "Yo, you want to be serious about the gym? Just start going." So I copped the Planet Fitness membership, and after a lot of nights, after I would drop my girlfriend at the time off at home, I would just walk into a 24-hour spot and just jump on the elliptical for about 20, 30 minutes. I didn't know what it was. And I just was like, this is weird, but I never see people on it. A lot of the other machines are crowded. Why do people only get on this machine for like 5 minutes and then get off? So I didn't know what it was. I didn't know to use any resistance. I just was using it. And then after a couple weeks of doing that, you was like, "Oh, okay, let me meet up with you. Let's go to the gym, and I'm gonna introduce you to some shit." And then you showed me kind of the fitness routine we do, and at the end, he was like, "Oh, let me show you my favorite machine." And then it just happened to be the same machine. So I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about the elliptical, and then I'll chime in. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I introduced you to the dark side.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo,
Nah.
did they ask you to do something that made you
You know
feel
what I'm saying?
uncomfortable?"
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
they asked me to spy on you, but they asked you to
Right.
spy on me, didn't they?
Right. I was like, you ever heard the story of
Darth
Darth
Plagueis the
Plagueis,
Wise.
the Jesus
You know what I'm
version?
saying?
Yeah.
Right,
It's not something that anybody else would tell you about.
right,
Anyway, so yeah, listen, cardio is important. We probably said this so many times. Cardio is super, super important. And really, the best cardio machine is the one that you enjoy doing. But,
well said.
putting all that aside for a second,
Right,
I'm like this, what are you doing cardio for? Mainly, let's keep it real, is to like burn calories.
right,
But if you can burn calories and do a little bit of strength training at the same time, then you're going to get more bang for your buck. What I mean by
that's
bang
right,
for your buck is the amount of time you put in, how much calories are you quote unquote burning, right?
right.
So let's just go through before we even talk about the elliptical. If you go to your typical gym, right? Your typical gym, your Planet Fitness, the
Crunch.
Y, your Crunchy Crunch, things like that. It's pretty much the same thing, right? You got
Right.
you got your most popular. What's that? The treadmill.
Yep.
Everybody gets on the treadmill. If you go there at a certain time, there are no treadmills because everybody's on them.
That's right.
The treadmill is okay. The treadmill is okay, but it's limited. Well, why is it limited, Dre? Well, because you're only really moving forward. And
Right.
so those muscles of moving forward are the ones that you engage.
Yep.
And the most you can do is ramp up the speed, which is dope. I see a lot of people do hit, and then slow it down, and slow it down.
Yep.
What people don't know is doing hit doesn't burn as much calories as medium. And we talked about that before. So
Yep.
high intensity cardio does not burn as much calories as medium intensity. You can look that up if you want. And the other thing you could do on the treadmill is, bring it up on an incline. That
Yep.
makes it harder. Yeah. That makes it harder, and you can get much more on it. And then when you are going on an incline, you're engaging those muscles. More muscles have to be engaged, and it makes it harder because you have to use so much more of your leg muscles. And
Absolutely.
that's good. Okay, then you have like the rowing machine. Like people always, how you feel about the rowing machine? I don't have anything against it. But once again, in terms of like burning calories, you got this going and you got your back, but once again, it's just one motion backwards. So treadmill is only going forwards. The rowing machine is only going backwards. Okay, what else we got there? The bicycle, right? The stationary bike, right?
Yep.
Some people love this. And once again, that's dope. If you really like it, especially, what's the Soul Cycle, the bicycle classes, Some
Yep.
people just love group classes. Like,
Yeah, and
yo,
cycling classes are super popular here in the city.
they're super popular in places like New York, Miami, LA, Atlanta. That's what's popping. And if you're the type of person who's like, man, when I'm in a group of everyone, we're all doing it, I could do 45 minutes, an hour. Then, stay on that stationary bike. But if we could
Right.
just compare calories pound for pound, once again, usually when you're on a stationary bike, you're only going forward. If you go backwards, there's no resistance when you go backwards. The resistance is only when you go forward.
I didn't know
Correct
that.
me if I'm wrong.
I
Yeah,
have no
you
knowledge.
just
I didn't know that.
you just kind of go back. But you have when you digging in, making that work, it's
Right.
moving forward. And so we know it's forward muscles going. I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave any other cardio machine out.
The step
Stationary.
joint,
Oh, the
unlimited
the
steps.
Stairmaster.
You know what
The
I'm saying?
Stairmaster, great, right? It's the same sort of mechanics as putting the treadmill on a high incline. Going up those steps, you engage a lot of your muscles. I mean, yes, your quads, glutes, everything is getting engaged. It's dope. Once
Right.
again, you're always going forward.
Yep.
So, yes, you are engaging those muscles, but only in one direction.
Right.
But the Stairmaster is usually low to medium intensity, and so you can get a lot of calories burnt there. So I do respect that exercise if people choose to. I mean, I really don't like it. Listen, I grew up in New York, and I walked up a what's it called when you not having the elevator? A
walk up,
6-story walk up, a
Yep.
walk up. Yeah, I had like a 5-story walk up for years.
I
6-story
remember.
walk up for years. So it's a walk up, old ass building, no elevator in sight.
Yep.
And so I got trauma when it comes to all these things. In fact, I grew up in the projects where many a times, and you know the deal, that elevator don't work. They done urinated on the circuit breakers or something. Who knows what these cats do? They always destroy the elevator. And if you live on like the 15th floor, whatever, there's only one way you're going up, taking them stairs. So I remember as a kid running up them stairs all the time. Oh man! So anything with stairs, no, thank you. I did my stair time. That brings the elliptical.
Right.
Why is it so dope? Well, first of all, you're engaging a lot more muscles. Every exercise I just mentioned, we're only using legs.
Right.
The elliptical, if you choose to, you're using legs and arms. Now, remember the rower, you're using arms, right? But you're not using legs. You're just kind of pushing back.
Yep.
But the work is here. That's the work. In pulling back.
Yep.
Only the elliptical can you do both legs and arms. And that's why you're going to be burning more calories because you have to use everything. Yep. So more muscles have to be used to do the work. Therefore, more calories have to be burned.
Right.
That's step number 1. Number 2, you can go backwards on it and get a lot of resistance going backwards. You and I both know for the first half a second, there's no resistance. The joint catches up, and then that resistance turns right on while you're going backwards. When you're going backwards, you're engaging different muscles from a different angle.
Yep.
Forward, it's your quads that's firing up the most. Backwards, it's a lot of glutes that's firing up, and your calf muscles are going in, right? Yep. And so when you're talking about developing strength, attacking a muscle from different angles is the way to go. Getting it from a different angle. So the elliptical allows you to move forward, move back. You can increase the intensity. And in some of the elliptical machines,
incline.
You could also have an incline as well.
Yep.
So with that, to me, it's the best of all worlds. You're going to get everything included. So that's my whole spiel with, I think the elliptical by far is superior because if you say, hey man, I only got 20 minutes, I don't got a lot of time, I'd be like, go on the elliptical. because you're going to get a quote unquote full body workout. You're going to
Yep.
feel, if you do it the way that we say, and I'm gonna let Jay talk about the way we do it. If you do it the way we are going to speak about right now, you're going to feel it in your back like a rower. You're going to feel it in your chest, unlike any workout you don't do, because there's no cardio that does chest, unless you do an elliptical. You're going to feel it in the tris. You're going to feel it in your buys. You're going to feel it in the quads. You're going to feel it in the glutes. You're going to feel it
Core,
in, huh?
your
Oh,
stomach,
yes.
core.
The stomach. Yeah, you're going to feel it in your abs and your calves. So it's a full body workout. I remember the first time I did it, then I'm going to give the mic to you. The first time I went on the elliptical machine, I was like, what in the world is going on? I got
Right.
off. I walked for about 5 minutes, and I could feel it in my forearms and in my. Everything was just
Lit.
signals. All the muscle signals was just flaring off all at one time. Like my back, my chest, my. Do you remember your first time getting on there, like doing it the way we do? Like, man,
Yeah. So
I just felt everything, and from that time, I was stuck. I'm like, I've been on different cardio machines. I've been on the treadmill. Man, I could run on the treadmill for an hour, no problem. But I don't feel everything in my back. I don't feel everything in my arms. And so for me, it was like, whoa, this has changed the game. Like I'm really engaging every muscle within this like 20 minutes. I wasn't doing an hour at that time. I was probably doing 20 to 30 minutes when I first started.
Okay.
But man, if you do it the right way we're talking about, you can really get and engage your full body. And for those women who are like, I just want to get toned, yeah, this is for you.
Absolutely.
Go in, son.
So let's start with the breakdown, right? So you gave a great breakdown of the muscles that the elliptical machine engages. I do treadmill. I discovered running, jogging during the pandemic, as I've said here on the pod. I started running, like I said, you know, I run once a week. In fact, tonight when we're done here, I'm gonna jog. It's like 55 over here in the tri-state area, and I'm gonna get a nice run in. I might do 2.5, 3 miles before I head to work. So as I've mentioned, physical therapist. When I went to physical therapy, they want me on the treadmill. They don't want me really running outside, so I started using the treadmill. Prior to that, I didn't have a lot of experience with the treadmill. Not really my thing. I really enjoyed the elliptical. That was the first cardio machine I was introduced to, so my experience is a bit different from yours. But because we do interval training, which we broke down last podcast, right? Where we start at one and then switch to another resistance and we continue in these cycles. For me, the treadmill is super boring. It bores
I
me
forgot
to
about that.
death. I fucking hate it. I enjoy running outside. There's the scenery. Sometimes there's people. I gotta wait for lights. I gotta decide, am I gonna go before the cars come? There's different types of terrains, which means the resistance is changing. I might be running down a hill. I might be running up a hill. I might be down a real busted block that got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I got corners to turn. When I'm on the treadmill, I'm just a hamster on a wheel.
Oh, I was going to say that.
It's a hamster on a wheel. For me, listen, for me, it's not fun. I understand it might be a necessary evil, and some people love it. That's great. For me, it is boring as hell. I don't enjoy it. I like to be outside. I wish I lived by a track and field kind of place. I would just live there. I'd probably jog 5 days a week because I'd be running the laps all the time, but I don't. That being said, I love the elliptical. Why? As Dre said, we can engage all types of muscles, right? So it's back, it's arms, it's shoulders, it's chest, it's abs, it's arms. Yo, you could get busy. And that's why I always say I'm spending time with wifey. If you see me post on my Cherry or More Butters page, I'll put up on my story, met up with wifey before work, and it's the elliptical. Last episode, I said I'm spending time with wifey. It's the elliptical. I love the elliptical. Now, How do you engage all of these muscles? By default, you may not. If you're going backwards, as Dre said, you're engaging more muscles. As you add resistance, you're calling for more energy and more muscular endurance, right? You're calling for it. You're using those powers. You're using that energy. Great. If you are using, they've got these like weird ass handles. That is where you start getting these other muscles involved. So most ellipticals have two different bars. They've got these little handbars that are about at your chest, or in your chest area. They're right here like a bicycle. You can simply hold on to those if you want, or they've got these long arms like this, right? If you hold on to those longer bars, now you're doing something like this, right? When you start doing this, as you can see, all of the things that are engaged in just me sitting on the couch and doing this. I feel this in my core right now. I feel this in my back right now. I feel this in my arms right now. I'm not on a machine. I'm not pulling anything. Now, this is how you get the most muscles involved. You want to stick your chest out. You want to try to keep your back straight. I see a lot of people like this on the elliptical, like if they're skiing. You're
Right.
actually putting a lot of pressure on your back and hurting yourself, whether you realize it or not. You want to try to keep your back straight, which I say if you focused on keeping your chest out, I'm not saying back like this, but if you focus on keeping the chest out, that helps with keeping the back straight. Okay, if you keep your back straight, you're now calling for more on the arms and more on the shoulders. Okay, a lot of people see me doing it and ask why. This is why. I want to use as many muscles as possible. I want to engage all of them. Why? Muscular endurance and strength. I love the elliptical. If I have to choose between cardio and strength training, if I just don't have time and I only have time for one, everyone knows I'm going cardio. It's not a question. I like to have the endurance. I like to work on the stamina. I'm also just used to being an active outside person. So for me, this is an easy choice. I'm also trying to get smaller and more lean. So I'm going to always choose the cardio over the weights and the machines if there's a choice. In the perfect world, it's balanced and I'm doing both. But that's not always possible. That's just telling me it's 9 o'clock. So this is the way that I do it. This is the way that we do it. Dre has taught me to use the elliptical, and I think it's great because, as we said last pod, we do this interval training. It's constantly changing. We start with whatever our thing is. If we're doing 30 minutes or a half hour, 30, 40, 60 minutes, whatever it is, we do half of it backwards and half of it forwards. I start with my first half going backwards. Okay, so for me, it's weird, it's fun, and it's constantly changing. As soon as I feel like I'm getting in a groove going backwards, guess what? I've reached halfway. Time to go forward now. And again, I'm constantly changing. Okay, 3 minutes. I'm here. 3 minutes. My 1 minute comes. All right, beep, beep, lower that. And now I'm holding on here, just cruising for a moment. I'm constantly working all of these different muscles, doing these different levels of resistance. It's exciting. It's engaging. I'm dripping in sweat and I'm burning a lot of calories. Way back when we first started taking like pictures of the machine on Facebook and we're putting up stats, 2013, 2014, people were messaging me and were like, how the fuck are you burning so many calories in such a little bit of time? I was like, because I'm doing interval training on the elliptical. So, this is the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
as they say on the Mandalorian.
Yes, sir, Mando.
This is the way. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah, you ain't never lie. I mean,
I'm listening. I'm just gonna take my phone.
Yeah, no, do your thing. The way we used to do it, it's like it was pretty normal, pretty regular to hit 1,000 calories. We would do an hour 65 minutes. Like that was just the way we did it. And yeah, we post online and people would be like, oh my God. But then if they didn't see you in a minute, like say a month went by, 2 months went by, and they see you and they're like, yo, you start putting two and two together.
Right.
If this person is burning 1,000 calories, almost every day, every other day,
Right.
it's like the calorie deficit, you don't even have to think about it.
Right.
We never really talked about really eating. I mean, especially back then, because I was really more on the vegan stuff anyway. So I wasn't really getting
Well,
all
yeah,
those
at that
many
time
calories.
we both just went vegetarian.
Yeah. So it was just like I'm eating veggies anyway, and so I didn't have to worry about no. I knew I was always in the calorie deficit because I'm like, yo, I know at least a G that's in the bank. And then whatever I do on top of that,
training,
it's bonus. But I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was something I completely forgot. It's like it has to be fun. It has to be exciting. That's why people do the Soul Cycle because it's fun, exciting. The music, come on, guys, blah 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 blah. That's what's up. Yeah, you're right. That treadmill, it's like beside, in spite of my rage, I'm still a rat in the cage. You just.
That's it.
And that's
it.
boring. I can't do it no matter what music I'm listening to, no matter what. It's just boring. I mean,
some people love it.
Yeah,
I don't.
I do a 10-minute warm up on the treadmill.
Yep.
And that's boring. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that 10 minutes to go. Like, God, is it 7 minutes? God, this was going so long.
Why is this going on?
But it's just a little 10-minute warm up. So that, that's that. But yeah, you hit a thing that I forgot, and that's that. Yeah, it has to be exciting, and because you're doing so much, going up, going down, going backwards, going forward. It's like it's like you're operating this weird machine that's controlling your body. Yeah, and it takes the monotony out of it. It makes it. You have to pay attention. If you say to yourself, "I got to go high, I got to go low," and like something like what you're doing every 3 minutes. You got to change something every 1 minute. You got to change something. You have to focus. You can't drift off. No. Even if you're only doing every 5 minutes in intervals, you still can't drift off. You got to be like, oh, I'm about to change. 4, 3, 2. All right, boom. Boop. Change it up. So it keeps you. If you do it the way we're saying, it really keeps you engaged and it makes it a bit more fun. And the more fun it is, the more engaged you are, you get more from it. Yep. So, yeah.
And let's be clear, listeners. We're not saying this is a fact. We're giving our opinion. A lot of times we speak in facts. A lot of times we're quoting other people or studies or whatever. Right now, this is an opinion piece. We're saying why we feel the elliptical is the best machine in the gym. If you feel that's the treadmill, if you feel that's the Stairmaster, that's cool. We're not telling you to stop. Man. We're not telling you you're wrong. As always, we're saying you should do what's fun for you. You should do what you enjoy. We're simply sharing that this is what we enjoy.
No doubt.
So I just want to be clear because I know a lot of times we're saying like, well, studies have shown this. I read this research. Channing Tatum said this. This person said that. Right. So I want to be very clear. This is our opinion. This is what we enjoy. You do not need to do interval training. You should not be doing 3-1 if you've never done anything before. We're just telling you what we enjoy doing and the reason why.
Yeah, and try it. See if you like it. But you're right. I see plenty of sisters on the Stairmaster killing the Stairmaster. I mean, they are up there. They're looking great. They're glowing. They're doing their thing. They look awesome on the Stairmaster. Absolutely. So you couldn't take them off that Stairmaster. And I'm like,
and I wouldn't want to.
And I wouldn't want to. They start doing the skip stairs and lifting the leg at the end, to work the glute or whatever. Absolutely. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. They got their little routine. It works for them. I tried the Stairmaster, I dated this chick. She was just like, come and do the Stairmaster with me. We always do the elliptical. All right, let's keep it even, Steven. Right. And I hated it. I was miserable. Right. She was looking at my face. I'm just like, stairs, though? This is boring. Right. Walking, I'm like, yo, I spent a lot of time walking upstairs. Walking upstairs don't do anything for me. Right. Now, before there was an elliptical, that Dre showed his age for a second, there used to be something called the cross trainer. I don't know if you ever remember this. The cross trainer was like cross country skiing. It was like a thing, right? It was like
Uh-huh.
doing cross country skiing. And why did they create that? Because they did this study. So some of y'all want to hear studies. They did this study and they found out that people who did cross training, cross country skiing, I want to say, people who did cross country skiing burned a ton of calories going through that snow. The snow created the resistance, and they
Yep.
had to use all parts of their body. If you
Yep.
ever see anybody do cross country skiing, they are drenched when they're from it. They're like, oh my God, just trying to get through this terrain. And like
Right.
you were saying with outdoor
Running.
jogging, sometimes that terrain is up, sometimes it's down. You have to
Yep.
move this way and that way. It's a lot of things that have to manipulate. And so
Absolutely.
somebody looked at that study and was like, oh, cross country skiing is the joint? Well, I'm going to create a machine that mimics cross country skiing.
Right.
And they had that for a while.
Yep.
Then, as always, someone else looked at that cross country skiing and was like,
This
Yeah, but what
is the remix.
yeah, it was like, what about that stepper though? Because
You know what
there's
I'm
there's
saying?
studies on that. So what's some way I can put that stepper together with that cross country skiing? Because then you can go forward, but guess what? Now you can also go backwards and put a whole different mix on it. So
Right.
guys, give it a try. We think it's awesome.
Right.
If you don't do it, take your time. But hey, if you're doing what you like to do, keep on doing it.
That's it. The important
Yeah.
part is having fun and being consistent.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, speaking of having fun,
Yay.
let's talk about Batman.
Yeah, man. I finally saw Batman. Took me a little minute to get out there.
Listen, that's all right. It ain't been that long. It came out, what,
Yeah,
9
a
days
little week.
ago?
Yeah, a little week, a
Yeah,
little
come on.
week.
That's nothing.
Yeah, I
9
saw it
days.
Friday. I'm glad I didn't run out and see it right away. Like, oh my God, I gotta go see it. It was okay. Honestly, it was okay. So,
Huh?
and like you were saying before, man, like I like Matt Reeves. I like what he did with his other projects.
Yep. Planet of the Apes is our shit.
Yeah. This Batman. So you know how I rate action movies, right? It's like,
Okay.
first of all, I'm a martial artist, so I
Right.
rate the action in terms of martial arts, and I rate the acting.
Right. But was this an action movie?
There was action in it.
Okay.
It was plenty of action in it.
All right.
You don't see cars blowing up and people punching the shit out of each other and not call it an action movie.
All right.
I mean, that's one of the biggest scenes of him beating the hell out of somebody on the platform.
You right.
But anyway, so it's like some acting was really, really good. His acting as Batman was okay. Some people really went in, and some people was just like, it seemed like some people was told, look, this is what I want you to do. Go home and watch The Godfather. Pick out any accent in there and the way they talk, and then bring that into Batman. Okay, I'll do that.
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying? And so it just seems so simple, so simple. The fighting for me seemed very unrefined. It's like, son, you need to go back to Ra's al Ghul. Like, your training is not over. You know what I'm saying? It was really rough. And he said that Alfred trained him in the movie, like that they went in that direction. It's like, okay, it looks like it. Because you look like a brawler. You look like a street fighter. You don't look like somebody who's well trained.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a person who's trained versus a street fighter look completely different.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If you even let's take Mike Tyson, who's just a boxer. When you see Mike Tyson in movies and he's like fighting in movies, he takes a boxing stance and he does his thing. That's what he knows. Right. So it's like, I'm going to show you that I'm a professional boxer. Right. And he just seemed like a ruffian who was really angry, Right. And so those are some of the things I was like, not feeling. Now, it wasn't a total loss. Like, there's some things I liked. I like the fact that Matt Reeves went in this direction of, okay, if you're inspired by vengeance, fine. Right. Everybody else can be inspired by vengeance. If you're going to be inspired by vengeance and do whatever the fuck you want, other people can be inspired by Avengers and do what the fuck they want too.
Right.
See,
Right.
okay. So maybe
Right.
you need to understand what community means and
Right.
learn how to work with people. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I
Right.
like that theme. That
Right.
was actually pretty good. I like
Right.
that he kind of went there. So the theme was dope to me. The path that they took was, I mean, come on, that Batmobile, looked like Orange Coast motorcycles could have made that. You know what I'm saying? It's just unrefined. The whole thing just seemed very unrefined, and
Yep.
and I get that I've only been doing it for 2 years.
Right. So I didn't want to cut you off. Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, I get it. Oh, he was only doing it for 2 years. I get that,
Right.
but before you go out on the streets, you gotta get your training together. Now, maybe he's gonna take it in a different direction where on the next one he meets up with some like great trainers and they bring him to the next level. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just looked really unrefined. The movie just looked kind of like unrefined to me, and I didn't really appreciate that.
All
So
right.
you can go in.
Well, the reason I asked, is this an action movie, is because to me, this wasn't really an action movie. This was a
Okay,
mystery movie starring Batman. It
got you.
was like the Zodiac Killer,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but starring Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool to me. I thought that was a dope approach. I was like, oh, okay, I'm watching a 3-hour mystery movie. But then that's my first problem. I don't need to sit through a 3-hour mystery movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
If
I
it's a
got you.
mystery movie, that's
Yeah,
cool. But then it don't need to be 3 hours. It doesn't.
yeah, yeah,
It does not need to be
yeah.
3 hours. There
I
was a
yeah.
lot of fat that could have got trimmed.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that. That I like the unpredictability of it, where you didn't really know where you was going. That
Right.
was good. That was some good writing in terms of like,
Absolutely.
hey, you got to kind of figure things out. You got to keep your head on. It's going to go in way different directions. And so yeah,
Yes.
I did appreciate that too.
Yeah. And I was kind of wrong initially when I said on the pod, it seems like they kind of came out and was like, this is loosely based on Long Halloween, a
Yeah.
very famous Batman story. This
Yeah.
wasn't Long Halloween. In
No.
Long Halloween, every holiday, a person dies. And it takes
Right.
Batman a year to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
That's not what happened here. This
Yeah.
was very different. And this
Yeah,
was very clearly the Riddler. The mystery
Yeah.
part came later, which I won't spoil because the movie only been out a couple days.
Right.
But from the jump, we know it's the Riddler. We don't even know who the Riddler is or what he's about. But in this film, it's very clear, hey, it's the Riddler. I'm fucking with you and the cops, and I'm leaving clues. Figure the shit
Right.
out if you can. And
Yeah,
I thought that
I
was
agree.
really. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that
agree.
was
I
really
would say
good.
it's
I
not.
think.
It's.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it's not. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't loosely based on it. We would say it's inspired by it, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they and I appreciated that. To me, that was a big relief because that was what I was the most worried about. I felt like, oh, they're gonna completely fuck up one of the best Batman stories
Oh
in the
yeah.
history of
Oh, yeah.
Batman comics. And I'm very glad that they did not use it. So once I saw that, now I was able to be less tense, relaxed, and just drink in the film. I really like Zoe Kravitz as as Catwoman. She did her thing. It was funny. You kind of can't even tell. Is it Colin Farrell? That's his name.
Yes,
Penguin?
he killed it. in
Yo,
that
you couldn't
makeup.
even tell that was him until certain points. Like until he started shouting at one point, I forgot it was him.
He got his accent down. Yeah, he
He
thugged out on
killed that
He
shit.
thugged out. Yeah, he thugged out.
He killed that shit. And the comedian being the role he was, I don't want to even say who it was yet, but him, that comedian that's been a comedian in mad movies, for him to take this serious role as the top dog, that was super fly. So I truly enjoyed the writing, the story, the acting, but the path they took, like you said, I don't think this film needed to be 3 hours. It's like 2 hours and 50 minutes. So no, it's not exactly 3 hours, but that's a long ass time. I know most movies today are 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm sure we could have cut 30 minutes of this film out.
Yeah.
Absolutely sure of it. There did not
Yeah.
need to be that much of it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It was very unrefined, very raw. That is what Matt Reeves is kind of going for in this section of the DC universe. This is movie number 1 of 3, allegedly. And then there will be an HBO Max show about the things happening in Gotham in between the 3 films,
Yeah.
which will have minor Batman cameos. That's what's been said thus far. So
I'm about to say Penguin is getting his own joint on HBO Max. Colin Farrell, they love that Penguin joint. He's getting that. That's coming.
they announced that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm
HBO
wondering,
announced
is
it.
that has that always been the plan, or is that simply what the show is going to be? Because what was said prior was we're not going to say much yet, but it's basically what's happening in Gotham between the films.
Well, I think because so many people were just enamored with Colin Farrell's Penguin and they
Uh huh.
saw this like huge response, they're like, yeah, we about to. I don't know if that was always in the, or they just released it or they just looked at the numbers and was like, you know what? Let's HBO Max that, you
Okay,
know?
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I guess as things come out, as more is revealed, we'll get answers. But
Yeah.
I do know that was part of it, and I know Matt Reeves is supposed to be doing all of these things. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how he's going to continue to develop things, because we know as fans of Matt Reeves films, he knows how to really write stories and take things in different directions. Like even with Planet of the Apes, we saw how slowly this universe expanded and grew. It started with
Yes.
just little baby Caesar, and by
He
the
killed
second
that.
film, all that simple shit was over. It was
He
like, all
killed
right,
that.
5-10 year jump, all this different stuff happening. So who knows? Maybe we'll get that with Batman. Maybe
Beautiful work.
maybe Batman number 2, the Batman number 2 will be very similar. All right, it's been 10 years now I've been doing this Batman shit. I got my fighting up, got my tech up. I'm not just using Alfred anymore. I got, different cats with me. I got Lucius Fox. I got this person. Who
Right.
knows?
Who knows?
Um,
Uh, yeah, I felt that. It's fun. It's funny. The Zoe Kravitz Catwoman.
yeah.
I felt that was the worst Catwoman I've ever seen on screen.
Really?
Yes, and I'm talking about you can go all the way back to the '60s Catwoman. With
Perfect.
with my girl. Oh man, why I'm forgetting her name, but
I don't
yeah,
know her name, but I know exactly who you're talking
yeah.
about.
She was dope. Every Catwoman was dope. It's like even Halle Berry's Catwoman was better
You
than
saw
her.
that?
Yeah, did you see the Halle Berry Catwoman movie?
Hell no. To the no, no,
Let me tell
no.
you something. So once again, I rate movies action, acting. The acting in that, whatever. I mean, my man, the Merovingian is in it, so I was just like, that's my
All
dude.
right.
But the whoever did the choreography, the fight choreography, mwah, in Catwoman, Halle Berry's Catwoman. What they did for her was say, okay, she's going to know Capoeira. That's her shit.
Okay.
And you had all these like fly ass Capoeira moves using the whip. So she tripping cats up. And so the reason why I like that, because it works for the dynamics. It says, here's a small woman, small frame. How can she beat somebody? She can't beat you straight up. So she has to be able to use speed, motion, trip you up, and therefore take advantage. And I'm like, that was dope. To see this, like, I mean, she look like she's like 87 pounds or something.
Super slim Zoe.
Super slim 87-pound woman throw these like attacks. I'm like, and there's a part where she like saves Batman by using her strength. I'm not going to go any further than that, but I'm like, no. You're not lifting him up. You know what I'm saying? No. And so it was just like, once again, you didn't really refine it, Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, played the Catwoman, and
Absolutely. That's when Danny DeVito was Penguin.
Oh, mwah. You know what I'm saying? Just this duality, just like, the way she approached it. You know what I'm saying? Throwing cats off. like that's like Catwoman's kind of like thing. It's just like
Uh-huh.
you know the character. It's like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she's a bad person, good person,
Yeah, she's an
a lot of
anti-hero.
sex appeal type thing, and it's really like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm out here for me and mine.
Yep.
Like I don't
Absolutely.
what you talking about, you
Right.
know. And so yeah, I just felt like nah, I'm not saying I don't have anything against Zoe Kravitz. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying
Hmm.
the way that was portrayed, she didn't write her own lines. The way they wanted her to present this Catwoman. I was just like, sorry, no, it don't, no, it doesn't
Yeah,
work
that's
for me.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yep,
Yeah, I mean, I think the film was cool. I love that it was different. I love that this was a totally different approach to Batman because we have seen a million Batman films at this point. Like,
mm-hmm.
we've seen mad different actors, we've seen mad different films, mad, all these different bad guys. And I really, really like that this was totally different. It was entertaining. It wasn't like, oh, Joker again. Oh, okay, this person again. Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
saw the Riddler. Jim Carrey was Riddler way back, but this was a very different approach to
Oh
Riddler.
yes. Oh
And
yeah.
this entire film was really, really dark. And I thought that was cool too, because to
Yeah.
me, that goes with the whole year too, right? If you're saying that Batman is in his second year, this is not the Justice League Batman. This is not Batman who's been doing this for decades. He's known around the world. He's done all these things. This is like, I'm still figuring it out. And
Yeah.
I really like that this was the approach. And I like that they flipped the themes on Batman. Like you said, it was like, oh, so you're inspired by vengeance? Guess what? So is this person. So is that
That
person.
was dope.
And now it's a vengeance
That was
festival.
very good. Yeah, that's
I
like
love that.
okay.
I
If
love
you
that. And I'll be honest, I feel like they was watching Joker and taking notes. I feel like they was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, all
I
right.
agree. I
So that's
agree.
what y'all want cats to purge at the
Yeah.
end. Okay.
Because you're
All
right,
right.
because they also tried to take a sort of like 70s vibe to it in a sense. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
They, you could definitely see that they were like, oh yeah, see what he did with Joker? Let's kind of emulate that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I thought it was okay for it to be dark. Yeah, the Riddler part, no doubt. The way they made him, how he was complicated and the things that he said, it's
Yep.
just like this is what I do,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was dope.
And
No
he
doubt.
had kind of this Ra's al Ghul almost, or Ra's al Ghul almost in him in the interview scene. I'm not going to spoil too much, but he was like, "Oh, you ain't get that clue yet? You ain't figured that out yet? I thought you was
Slow.
I thought you was smarter than that.
Man, I thought you was.
Come back to me when you figured it
I,
out."
I overestimated you. I'm
You know what I'm
sorry,
saying?
son. You know
You
what
know
I
what
mean?
I'm
You don't
saying?
really know what's happening. I thought you was,
Right.
see you later. You
Right.
know what I mean?
So I like
Yeah.
that part. And
Yeah.
them teasing some people and Easter egging some people was interesting too. Like in the opening scene, do you watch Titans?
Yeah. The
Are
HBO
you
joint?
up
Yeah.
to date?
No. I've seen
So
a lot of it, but I haven't seen all of it.
so the in the opening scene on the train platform, there's a kid in there. The kid who's like hesitant,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he's from Titans.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting for various reasons. Maybe later on we'll talk about it. I don't want to say too much on here for people who haven't seen it, but I thought that was really cool. There's some other Easter eggs I picked up, and I think it was very good. I think that my thing is the approach. Like it was refreshing for me. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Batman kick ass. We've seen everybody do their own rendition of Batman. We saw Clooney, we saw Keaton, we saw Val Kilmer, we saw Christian Bale, we seen Adam West. Like this is not our second Batman. Oh, we saw fucking what's J Lo's dude?
Oh yeah.
Affleck. We saw Ben
Affleck.
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 Affleck. Ben Affleck.
We saw Affleck, you know what I'm saying? We saw Ben Affleck do it. So we seen a lot of people be Batman. I like that this was a very different Batman. I'm interested in seeing the evolution. I thought this was a good starting point. I do think there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm
Yeah.
curious where we go from here.
Yeah, and, you know, and maybe I just need some more time because, you know, it's like you could see him being just way too emotional and that,
Yep.
you know, believing that, okay, I'm angry and that's enough for me to get out on the streets. And it's like, no,
Right.
just being angry is not enough. And just by, look, your tools are not right. He ain't have shit in his
Yep.
utility belt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your utility belt
Yep.
is garbage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not prepared for the streets, son. What
And
are
I
you
love
doing out
that.
here?
I love
You
that.
know what I'm saying? You
I'll
get
be
your
honest,
ass
I
whipped
was loving that.
royally. Yeah, because
Yeah. And I
what
like
it's
that.
saying is like, you know, just being angry is not enough. You're not prepared.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way I looked at it. It was like, who is this dude? Like, you're not prepared to be in the streets,
Right.
son. You're fucking yourself up. You need. Did you you know? And that's like, compare that to like Batman Begins, right? Where it's just like, all right, I know I'm not ready for these streets, so let me go find something.
Right.
Found a thing, becomes a really good at it, almost one of the top students, and then
Right.
decides, okay, I just can't be killing people. Just be killing people. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and comes back as a well-trained cat and prepares himself for the streets. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
Where this
maybe
Batman is, we can tell this is more experience. I'm living off experience, Batman.
yeah, whereas I'm really angry and I'm sad and I'm depressed and I just want to hurt somebody, so I'm just gonna go out the
Right.
streets and do that. And it's like,
Right.
okay, if that's what
Okay,
you want to
but
do, okay, but you don't understand those streets like that. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
And that's why some
Yeah.
of the things in the movie happen the way they do.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's what's up. All right,
Yeah.
man. I know
All right,
I
man.
know you got to slide. This
Yeah, I
has
got to get
been
my
great.
run on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So everybody, thanks again, once again, for listening and for watching. And man, we'll see y'all next time.
Next week,
Deuce,
y'all.
deuce.
And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out. Let's roll out.